मेरे पापा like my father he says this every time like एक टाइम था जब डबल होते थे पैसे रियल एस्टेट में, but that's not the situation right now after 2016.
No, I would not say that, because see, demonetization के पहले भी real estate was a good market. After 2016, after demonetization, real estate is a very good market to invest in. पैसे अभी भी डबल होते, तभी भी डबल होते थे, बस किस स्पीड से डबल होते हैं, that's where the question is, and that's what we should be talking about, कि वो किस रेट से डबल होते हैं. So yes, real estate is also a very good option, but there are alternative investments to invest into real estate, like REITs, real estate investment trusts. So you can just buy the units, the REIT units. So by that you are investing into real estate, and it's pretty liquid also, and it does not require huge amount of money.
So along with this, there's a major factor that comes into consideration, that is inflation, and it does play a major role when you distinguish between ancient and modern investment opportunities. Many people still they think like I won't call like, but yeah, the one who have ancient thinking, they still think that FDs are considered to be a good option in recent times. So can you just explain that how it's affecting your investment, how badly it's affecting your investment when it comes to FDs?
See, investing into FTs has always been very easy for all the Indians, I would say, and understanding the investment into FT is very huge in number, or has a very vital role in every student's mind, every elder's mind. So yes, FD used to yield returns, very high returns in ancient times, but they are not competent enough to deliver returns in modern times, I would say. Plus, FD is a very safe asset, so it would yield returns in that case.
So along with these options, there's a major factor that comes into consideration, and that is inflation. It plays a vital role while distinguishing between ancient thinking and modern thinking, like ancient investment options and modern investment options. Now, for example, many people still think that FDs are considered to they consider it as a good option in recent times. So can you just explain that how badly does it affect your portfolio when it comes into investment, and what are the side effects of investing into FDs?
Okay. So yes, investing into FDs, I would not say that it affects your portfolio badly, but it's a very safe investment option. And in ancient times, it used to deliver good number of returns. It would give you a good number, but when considered in recent times or in modern times, FDs do not give you that much return to beat your inflation number. So you are not actually making money, and you are not meeting the purpose of investment in that case. And FDs were a very good option because it gave very good returns in past, with other investment options such as PPF, etc., that used to give good number of good returns to you. But yeah, I would not say it affects your portfolio badly, but of course it does not meet the need of investment in modern times.
Now, the other day when we had the talk, you said that you will recommend me some books to read about. So, what are those books which will help me to know more about financial mentality, which will help me to grow my financial mentality?
The first book that I would like to recommend, and which everyone would recommend when entering into investments and financial markets, is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So that's a must read. That's a must read for every student starting investments. Rich Dad Poor Dad. You should also read Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It's a very good book. Yes, I would also suggest you reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Another book that comes to my mind is the Peter Lynch series. The 3 books which Peter Lynch has written: One Upon Wall Street, Beating the Markets, and the other book, I don't remember the name of that book, but the set of 3 books of Peter Lynch is also a must read for every student. Yeah, so these are the kind of books you should read, and then you should start reading, The Intelligent Investor, which people would grab in the first place. But I would say that don't grab it in the first place. That's a very good book, but you need a certain type of thinking and a certain kind of understanding to read that book. There's also one book by one of our Indian authors only, that's called The Dhandho Investor, which somewhat talks about the investing style of Warren Buffett and other investors also. It's written by Monish Pabrai.
Now, on the other day, we had a very interesting discussion about can money buy happiness. Like, we had a huge discussion about it, and here I have my simple point on that from the psychology of money itself. That yeah, it's true that money may not buy happiness. Money may not be the most important thing in life, but it does affect everything that is important in your life. So can you please highlight your straightforward point of view regarding this subject?
Okay, that's a very debatable point, I would say. That can money buy happiness, or money can't buy happiness, I would say. Yes, money does buy happiness in some sense. In some sense, it does not buy happiness. We have heard very famous quotes that if you think money can't buy happiness, you probably don't know the right place to shop. Or very famously said by SRK that please be rich before you become a philosopher. So yes, it's a very debatable point, I would say. But what money does for you surely is that money buys you the freedom, the sense of accomplishment. It buys you the freedom of time. It buys you the freedom of spending, which is very much crucial in recent times. It brings a lot of benefits when you have money. It buys you health, which eventually buys happiness for your family members. So yes, it can be proved that money can buy happiness. It can be proved that money can't buy happiness. But yeah, I think that money does buy happiness.
Yeah, so we conclude here that money, instead we can say it in a way that money buys freedom, and freedom eventually indirectly buys you the earning and buys you the happiness, right?
Yeah, so you cannot see a direct linking between happiness and money, but there are many indirect links between money and happiness.
So now hypothetically, let's consider that I have entered into the age of 30 and 40. I have entered that phase. I have earned a lot of money. I had invested all of them. I had earned good returns on them. But now, yeah, and I'm well settled now. But in my early days, my elders used to say that you have to buy insurance to keep your life and future safe. It's the most underrated thing that we eventually ignore, like millionaires ignore. So when I go out, like in the market, I get confused between what to buy, what not to. So how to choose your insurance product wisely, and what mistakes to avoid it by choosing your insurance product.
Okay, so what I understand from your question is that you have started investing at a very young age, and now you have a very good amount of corpus in your bank account, and you are 30, you are 40 right now. Is that what you are asking me?
Yeah, 30, 40s. Yeah, I'm settled now. I have in my age of 35 to 40. I have a good family.
Okay. So let's assume that since you have started investing at a very early stage, you have made a good amount of corpus available to you. So in that case, insurance would play a major role when considering it into the portfolio. So the first thing what we need to understand is insurance versus investment. ये दोनों अलग कटोरी है. इंश्योरेंस सब्जी है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट दाल है, दोनों को मिक्स नहीं करते. दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग आई वुड से. ठीक है. द नेक्स्ट थिंग ये है कि बॉस इंश्योरेंस को इंश्योरेंस की तरह देखो. द पर्पस ऑफ इंश्योरेंस इज टू इंश्योर योर सेल्फ. पैसा बनाने के लिए इंश्योरेंस नहीं बना है, तुम्हारी सेफ्टी के लिए इंश्योरेंस बना है. सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग यू शुड लुक एट व्हेन यू आर स्टार्टिंग योर पर्सनल फाइनेंस जर्नी. Thinking about buying an insurance at the age of 35-40 is, I would say, a bit late. So you should start thinking about it at a very young age. The health insurance, life insurance, ये सब should come to your mind at a very young stage. Let's say 25 or 27. तो इस एज ग्रुप में यू शुड स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इंश्योरेंस. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, of course it's not late. Yeah, there are various benefits of insurance. At buying an insurance at a young age attracts many benefits, like number 1, insurance is a contract, so it does not change over the period of time. The amount of premium that you pay, it does not change over the period of time. So the early you buy, the lesser premium you pay, because the probability of your death at a young age, the probability of your death at 25 versus probability of your death at 35 has difference. You're more probable to die at 35 than to die at 25. Correct. So that would attract less premium than what you would pay at 35. And since it's a contract, the premium wouldn't change. That's the case in life insurance. Okay. In health insurance, you never know when the need arises. Okay, so it's very critical to have a health insurance policy and a life insurance policy in your pouch.
So when I'm entering into a real world, I must plan my savings and expenses accordingly, so that I must get a good I must have a good amount in investments, all the investment opportunities available there, all the investment options available there. Along with that, I must have a good amount of money for insurance as well, so that it will keep my whole life safe and secure. Right?
Yeah.
The next thing I want to know from you is, nowadays I have seen millennials talking about this term which is known as SIP. So can you just explain what is SIP in simple terms to our audience?
Yeah, of course. See, what SIP is, the full form of SIP is systematic investment plan. Okay, so it's like you are systematically investing into an investment product or an investment vehicle. So let's say you are investing monthly or quarterly or weekly. So you are investing into a regular manner, a systematic regular manner. So that's what systematic investment plan, SIP, is. So yes, and I it's like an EMI, but this is the type of payment which you would get back in multifolds.
Let's come to the last segment. At the end, I want to share that everyone has their dreams. Everyone, like there's a phrase that how big would you dream if you knew you wouldn't fail. So everyone has manifested about their dream car, their dream house, or anything. And fulfilling that dream, it needs a certain particular amount that they have to achieve in their life. Now, if I'm a salaried person, I know that it's very hard to achieve that number in my like desired time frame. So, what strategies would you recommend? What strategies must I plan to get what I've dreamed of, like that particular number that I've dreamed of?
Okay, yeah. So let me just reframe the question as what is the how should I approach investment in order to achieve my dream, or what is the way to secure that amount that would help me accomplish my dream. So what we need to understand is so what I want to say is that there's no certain fixed amount which an individual has to have in order to accomplish their dreams. Your dreams may be different than mine. I would be working for my dreams, you would be working for your dreams. It's very simple. So let's say that 1 crore rupees would not be enough for me, but 1 lakh rupees, or let's say 10 lakh rupees would be enough for you, or more than enough for you, in order to complete the dreams that you have vis-a-vis the dreams that I have. So yeah, there's no fixed number, but again, the more the better. That's what the practical logic of money says, right? So there's no proper way of getting the certain amount which you need or which you want. But what surely you can follow is you can set a goal that from 5 years from now, I want this amount of money in my bank account to accomplish this dream which I have, right? So let's say that you dream of buying a car after 5 years from today. So what's the price of the car right now? Let's say it's 20 lakh rupees. What would be the price of the car after 5 years? Because inflation affects the cost price also, right? So there, let's say the price of the car after 5 years would be 23 lakhs or 22 lakhs. So in order to get 22 lakhs after 5 years, what should be my plan from now? How much should I start investing right now? What amount of money should I invest right now? Or if I'm saving it systematically, like we discussed, that if we are doing a SIP for that goal, in the finance lingo we call it SIP in the mutual fund market. And yeah, by the way, I'm a mutual fund distributor and an insurance advisor also. So yeah, so we call it SIP. Okay, so what amount of SIP you should start doing from now in order to reach that stage of 22 lakhs or 23 lakhs after 5 years? Okay, so the point is that you should be doing goal based planning, right? So that's the proper way to approach any goal or any dream you have. So
Said
yeah,
about this particular concept that I don't remember right now, but and also along with that you said about you 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 said a particular Gujarati quote that I want to hear from you right now. These two things.
yeah. So I do remember that. I missed out on that. Yeah, so the quote is that paka ghade kantha na vade, right? So what it means is when the matka, the ghada is pakka, when it gets pakka, when it's put in an oven and then taken out, and then it's ready for selling. So at that stage you cannot mold it more, you cannot mold the matka more because it would break, right? So now that matka is pakka, it's ready. So now if you make any curve, or if you try to mold it in any other shape, or you try to give it a better shape also, it would not accept that, it would break, right? So that's what I would say that also applies into investing, that you should start investing at a very early stage when you are actually on the charkha and you are getting molded. That's where the investment should start. So by the time you get pakka and you are out of the oven, you are well stable and you are financially very much stable, I would say. Also remembering one more thing, yeah, Sannidhya, also remembering one more thing that you asked me about reaching your dream amount of money. See, so yeah, we discussed that there's no dream amount of money in general, but yeah, there are some concepts, and we should understand that. So in mutual fund we usually say that there's a rule of 15 15 15, and we use this while explaining the effect of compounding, and that's very important for all the millennials to understand that it was not just an 8th standard chapter which you studied and left. It's a life lesson that you need to understand. The effects of compounding and the formula of compound interest is a life lesson. It's not just an 8th standard chapter of maths. Correct. So this rule of 15 15 15 says that investing 15,000 every month for 15 years at an expected return of 15% would give you 1 crore at the end. And if you make it 15,000 per month for 30 years, which is exactly the double amount of time, at an expected return of 15%, you would say that it would give you 2 crores because you just doubled up the time. That's it, right? But no, it would not give you 2 crores, it would give you 10 crores. And that's where the power of compounding comes into the picture. That's where you see the exponential growth of your money working for you. So it's very necessary to understand that how you should make your money work for you in a very effective manner, in a very disciplined manner, in a very guided manner, I would say, and confidently, of course.
Like, this podcast has taught me one thing. If you look at your money and you think about investing it in all the options available there, taking risk at a particular age, and you are just exploring out yourself with various options out there, you
Yeah.
are tending to buy your luxurious dream. You are on the way of creating money, creating wealth, and becoming rich. So that's what I have learned from this podcast. It's clear that we have to take risk at an early age because we have nothing to lose. That's the most important thing. So yeah, that's the lesson of this podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your time. It's it has added value. It has surely added value amongst everyone around there. And
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Sannidhya.
thank you so much for giving your time. Thank you so much, Vivek.
Sure. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Sannidhya.